Hey, good day, sports fans, baseball fans around this country. My name is Albert Barbieri, better known as Albert Sugar Bear Barbieri. I want to share with you today something that I accomplished as an amateur baseball player, something that I hold dear to my heart. It was one hell of an accomplishment. And then on the other hand, it was very traumatic to me, as you will hear in the story. I told this story back in 2017, I believe, but I want everybody to understand something I didn't share the first time around. Something happened to me in 1982 that shut the door on my one chance of getting signed with the Baltimore Orioles as a minor league player, and as we all know, maybe having a chance to play Major League Baseball. All because of my father's involvement in organized crime in Philadelphia. So, the story that you're about to hear is my time in 1984, my pursuit of walking on to make an Alaska League baseball team. At the time, there was only two leagues, the Cape Cod League and the Alaska League, where the top college prospects play in the summer amongst themselves. I went there for validation because what happened in 1982 with the Baltimore Orioles and a scout by the name of Dick Bowie, who was very instrumental in the signing of Cal Ripken Jr. in the Baltimore organization. I've told that story on YouTube. You can find it if you like. But today, I'm going to share and redo the story only because I'm going to add all the people that weren't involved in the story, coaches, players. And I also want to say this story also was an extension later in life that gave me an opportunity to make my minor league professional debut at 44 years old with the Camden River Sharks in the Atlantic League. I hope you enjoy this story. I hope for all you walk-ons out there, the kids that are late bloomers like myself, this inspires you and reminds you, don't give up. Like Jimmy Valvano said, don't ever give up if you believe in yourself. Thank you. I'm into telling a baseball story. Something that's close to my heart, and a story that I want to share with all baseball men around the country, especially, most importantly, coaches out there that are at any level, coaching at any level. And I want to share something that happened to me and I wouldn't like to see happen to anybody else. It's about my time up in the Alaska League in 1984 with the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. And what inspired me to tell the story is I saw a former teammate of mine with the Pilots in '84, Mark Garner, do a YouTube story about his great time up in Anchorage, Alaska as a college kid. And it was a great time for any college kid to have the opportunity to play up in the ABL, Alaska Baseball League. Great people up there, and it's great baseball, summer baseball for a college kid to play amongst the best top college prospects in the country. But when I saw his story, it just reminded me of a totally different story of mine. I'm going to try to be a little humble here because what I accomplished up there is pretty special, something that I cherish and hold dear to my heart. But on the other hand, I was played a fool, and I was did very dirty by two managers. One by the name of Steve McFarland, who was the Anchorage Glacier Pilot manager. He was a former minor leaguer himself. At the time, he was coaching Cal Poly San Obispo up Northern California. And today, he's been in this Chicago Cub organization. He's respected. He's a scout. And the other coach that season that did me also not cool is legendary Arizona State coach, baseball coach, Jim Fry. Not to be confused with the Jim Fry who managed the Royals and the Cubs in Major League Baseball. So anyway, let me let's just assume that I'm born and raised in Philly, and just to get through my younger years, I loved baseball. I was a 3-year starter at my high school in South Philly, and I was just a very good high school player, but I was not a prospect, and it is what it is. And I knew what a prospect. I got to learn what a prospect really was after high school, and I was far from it in high school. Didn't play. I played 1 year of college baseball at Philadelphia Community College, and I just played amateur baseball in the Philadelphia area. And but around the age of 22 years old, 21, 22, I started to notice I was developing prospect-like skills. And I knew I had a major league arm, above major league arm. I started to drive the ball with that, prospect-like pop. Being able to drive the ball, which I couldn't do in high school often. And I was just crazy about baseball. And we all know that if you're not getting drafted out of high school or college, and if you're not into a major league affiliate by age 21, 22, very, very slim chance of you even playing professional baseball. But like I said, I just loved baseball, and I was single, and I just kept playing. So 1983, and I want to make this very clear also, that I'm not here to disrespect anybody. The names, the incidents, the conversations that went on with me, my teammates and coaches, they're all legit. They're etched in my brain for life. No sick disease like Alzheimer or dementia, if it strikes me, can never strip these memories away from me, ever. So this is gospel truth. I have box scores, I have articles, I have it all. I don't have it on me, but it's in a storage in Philly. I got it. And so anyway, in 1983, I pick up a magazine, and it's an outdoors kind of magazine. And in the magazine, there's an article featuring the Anchorage Glacier Pilots in the Alaska League. And excuse me, I never heard about baseball in Alaska. I heard about the Cape Cod League only because my dear friend, God rest his soul, Johnny Marzano, played in the Cape Cod League during his Temple University years. And Johnny wound up having a major league career for 10 years. He was a catcher. But I never heard about baseball in Alaska. And this article, I read it. It's telling me about the history of, Alaska baseball and major leaguers and former major leaguers at the time getting signed out of there. So there was a phone number connected to this article, and I called it up. And a gentleman by the name of Steve Agbaba. Now, a lot of you probably never heard of Steve Agbaba, but in the Seattle, Washington area and the Fairbanks and Anchorage area, Steve Agbaba is legendary. He answers the phone. We're talking baseball here, Agbaba. So Steve tells me about the league, and I ask him questions. And I ask him about when's their tryout. He says, there's no tryout. We don't hold a tryout. These kids are recruited by the manager, and he handpicks his players, and that's how we do it. We just hold a tryout for residents of Anchorage, Alaska. light goes off in my head. And I said, when's the tryout? He says, June 4th. I said, all right, thanks a lot, Steve. Nice talking to you. I hang up. And right from the time I hung up, I knew that I wanted to go to Anchorage, Alaska, because I needed at this time in my life, with the skills I was developing, I knew that I could play on that level, and I needed a taste of that. If I can play with these kids who are going to be future minor leaguer, major leaguers, and play on a schedule. I mean, their schedule was like a 57 game schedule in 60 days. If I could just get a taste of that, I would have been the happiest, kid around, for anybody who had dreams of playing professional baseball. So anyway, I moved to Anchorage, Alaska, January of '84. And I got lucky because I just had a friend for about a year, and he had a job opportunity to work at the pipeline, so he was moving to Anchorage, and he offered the roof over my head because he knew I wanted to go there and try out for this team, and it worked out. But I'm there alone. I really don't know anybody. And first thing I do is I introduce myself to Steve Agbaba. I go to the office, and the only thing I'm doing to get ready for this tryout is putting on my, snow boots and running the streets of Alaska with the snow like I'm Rocky Balboa getting ready for a title fight. I'm in my garage with a traffic cone, using it as like a tee, hitting off the tee into a mat, and swinging my 34-inch, 31-ounce Easton and wood bat with a donut on it just to stay loose, and throwing a ball up the garage door. I had a mat, up against the wall, just keep my arm loose. What am I going to do? Snow don't start melting there till late April, early May. I didn't know nobody. So I'm hanging out with Agbaba every day, and I'm telling him every day, also reminding him how I'm going to make this team, and he's looking at me like I'm nuts, but he was a cool dude. So Steve takes me to a general manager's meeting sometime in February, I believe it was, and along with us came this guy by the name of Jack O'Toole. Now, Jack O'Toole, for anybody who don't recognize his name, he's also legendary up in Alaska. He was a respected baseball man, a scout. He's been with the Anchorage Baseball Pilots from the very beginning when they were the Seattle Pilots, I believe in '69. And he took credit for signing some guys out of the Alaska League. And we're at dinner, and he starts up a conversation with me, and he says, so Al, what brings you to Anchorage, Alaska? I said, well, I'm going to the tryout June 4th. He's like, really? He says, you do have an idea what you're up against. I'm like, yeah, I think I have an idea what I'm up against. He goes, well, I want you to know, don't get your hopes up too high. I said, why is that? He goes, well, you're dealing with the best college prospects in the country, and nobody's ever made it as a walk-on. I look him dead in the eye. Dead in the eye. I go, Jack, let me tell you something. Not only will I make this team, I might take somebody's position. Wow, he chuckles. He goes, that's a great attitude to have. He said, I wish you luck, and, just, like I said, don't get your hopes up. Wow. This guy, lesson learned here, I guess you should learn never to judge a book by its cover. And that's one name I jot down, Jack O'Toole. He just lit a little fire under my ass, which was not good for him. I just thrive off stuff like that. So anyway, June 4th comes around. It's a gorgeous day at Mulcahy Stadium. Most of the pilots are there, and they're going to hold this tryout. It's going to be a freaking 15-minute, let's get this over with. Okay, you got Steve McFarland, manager. You got his pitching coach, who's legendary, out of Wichita State. He's been there for a long time, just retired a couple years ago, by the name of Brad Kemitz. Respected. And another gentleman by the name, I want to say Billy Davis. I think that's it. When I tap my computer chip in my brain, that's the name I remember, the other assistant coach. So they're there, and these kids, I'm there. I look the part. I got my New York Mets gray pants with the orange stripe, blue stripe down the pant. And I got my Mizuno top on with my kangaroo blue metal cleats. And these kids are there with sweatpants, sneakers, and they're just happy to be on the field. And, you know, they start funneling balls to the outfield, and these kids they're throwing home plate, and it's taking 49 bounces to get the home plate. I'm embarrassed for them, but they're having fun. So now it's time for the infielders to get down third, way back behind the third base bag. I know the drill. And, you know, I'm a cocky kid. I got tons of confidence, but I'm cocky. And I jump in first. And first ground ball, McFarland, right at me. I got a major league arm now. Serious major league arm. Above major league arm. Frozen rope across the diamond, 4 feet off the ground. And now you got the Anchorage Glacier Pilot brass off to the side. And you got McFarland. And you can just hear, they're like, what? You can just sense it. Like, well, who the fuck is this guy? Next hits another ball to my right, line, backhand, step and throw. Another one to my left, range all the way, throw. Forget about it. Tryout's over. We're in the dugout, all of us. I know he's going to come in and give the old thanks for coming, see you later, gang speech, and that's what he does. He comes in the dugout. All right, gang, just want to thank everybody for coming out. Best of luck wherever you play. Enjoy the summer. About a minute later, I'm in the corner packing my gear. I'm a little like, wow, are you kidding me? He comes over to me, McFarland. He says, Al, they want to see you take some hacks. Can you be ready in half an hour? Really? He wants to discard me right off the bat. They want to see you. He couldn't say to me, Al, I liked what I saw out there. I like to see you take some hacks, see what you got. He wants to throw me, like just discard me like I didn't mean nothing to him, but the Anchorage Glacier Pilot board members want to, or the brass, whatever you want to call them, want to see you hit. So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm ready. I'll be ready. Now I'm excited, but I'm also getting pumped up, and I know what I got to do now. I've been down this road many times at tryouts, and I know, you know, what I got to do. I'm not going to waste my hacks on hitting ground balls up the middle or hit one to right field and show them I can hit the opposite way. You know, here I am. I'm 5'6", 170, 75 pounds with the ability, and I always would have the knack to drop the pinky down on the knob and go deep. I'm talking about little guy, opening eye deep. You don't get too many guys at 5'6" able to drop the pinky on the knob and be able to drive the ball. Well, I had that. And so, kid on the mound's going to throw to me. He's one of the pilots. His name's Mike Batesel. How you doing, Mike Batesel, if you're watching this? Mike Batesel was the third baseman. He was cool. Mike Batesel happened to wind up later in life coaching Fresno State College to a College World Series and winning one. I believe it was 06 or 05 or whoever it was. So, and believe me, I'm unforgettable to these guys, just like these guys are unforgettable to me, just like these events, these conversations are etched in my brain. I remember meeting up with Mike Batesel in 2009 or 2010 at Loyola Marymount. Fresno State, I guess, was in town to play Loyola Marymount, and I wanted to go see him. And he's in the dugout, and he's got his head down. I believe he was writing a lineup card or something, and I'm waiting for him to pick his head up. And as soon as he picks his head up to see me, without a tenth of a second, he smiles. He goes, oh my God, Al Barbieri. And the same thing with Brad Commence. He came, Wichita State came to, I live right down the street from Blair Field in Long Beach, where Long Beach State played. And after the game, the bus is outside the clubhouse where the visiting team has to get on the bus, and I'm standing right by the bus door. I'm waiting for Brad to come. Right? I ain't seen him since 1985. And he's coming. As soon as he locked eyes on me, he smiled, and I don't believe it, he said, Al Barbieri. So, you know, these events are unforgettable, and as I was unforgettable to them, they're very unforgettable to me also. So Mike Bates was going to throw BP to me, and the first pitch throws, I hit it out of the ballpark left center. Second pitch he throws to me out of the park left center. Third pitch he throws me, I hit it right through the L screen. Luckily he was behind the mesh, or I would have took a piece of his ear off. Fourth pitch he throws, goes right down the line, inside the pole, out of the ballpark, and then the fifth pitch, left field, out of the ballpark. McFarland says, you want to step out of there, Al? And I'm like, no, I really don't. I got to show you how I can hit with the wood. That's nothing. My cockiness, but I step out of there, and he's like, he says to me, you mind going to get them balls you hit out of the park? I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? So I'm like, Well, so I got to go down left field line. If anybody's ever been to Mulcahy Stadium, there's a beautiful soccer field right behind left field. AstroTurf. I got to go out behind, and there's the balls laying on the AstroTurf. I grab them, but before I go back, I go to the outfield wood fence, and I peek through crack, and I see McFarland down at home plate with Brad Clements, the other assistant coach, and I know what's going on. I know I'm a thorn in their side. I am the last thing they need at an open tryout. It was like, you know, they promised their kids playing time, and here I am, a local kid. Not a local per se, I didn't grow up in Anchorage, but I'm a resident, and I'm a walk-on. So I get the home plate, I get the balls, and McFarland, I'll never forget how this conversation went. He says to me, he says, Al, where'd you play college baseball? I said, I didn't play college baseball, Coach. He says, you didn't play any college baseball? I said, no. He says, what brings you here? I said, well, I'm chasing a dream just like your kids are. He says, well, how old are you? Now, at the time, I'm not privy to what the qualifications are to play in this league. If you have to be in college, do you have to be active in college, or age limit? I was 23 at the time, so I just lied. I told him 21, which didn't matter. So he goes, all right. He says, have you done any catching in your day? You got any experience? And I said, I got a little experience, but I'm not polished. So he says the Jack O'Toole. Now, Jack O'Toole's over there, and he's already swallowed a cigar from watching me hitting balls out of the ballpark, right? I taught him a lesson. So I go down to the bullpen, and I grab a mask and a mitt. And the first kid I'm going to catch is a tall, 6'10", lanky hair, skinny kid, lefty, southpaw. They called him Randy. Wound up being Randy Johnson. All right, I got a Randy Johnson right out of USC firing darts at me. Next kid gets on the mound, right-hander. They call him Mark. It was Mark Gardner. Mark Gardner was ticketed to the major leagues. Another kid, Todd Kruder, lefty. He threw to me. This kid, Arnsberg, he threw to me. So a few guys threw to me. And now O'Toole takes me back to the home plate. McFarland's there, and McFarland says, well, Jack, what do you think? And Jack was forthright. He said, it looks like he can handle the receiving. So McFarland says, come on, Al, let's see how you throw out of the crouch. Throw out of the couch. I got a major league arm. He's going to see something beautiful. And I had the knack and the gift from the throw from my ankles, anywhere from my ankles, from up top. And I know that 2-0 is major league average from receiving, releasing down to second base. So I do that Christmas morning. I could wake up Christmas morning and get down 2-0. So, you know, I'm going to do 1-9s, and I'm going to do, and they got the clock, 1-8. I throw a 1-8 in there every once in a blue moon, but 1-9 consistent. So he's standing 10 feet in front of me, and he's chucking. He's done second, third. All right, he didn't see anything like he wasn't not going to see. So he says to me, just like this, he looks me dead in the eye. Dead in the eye, he fucking looks at me. You remember this, Steve, how he said this? Well, let me refresh your memory. You said to me, Al, here's the deal. We have a catcher problem. We got a catcher by the name of Mike Day, who's involved in the College World Series. He won't be here for the first 3 games down at Kenai. He said, I'll put you behind the plate. You prove you can handle the pitching staff, and you hit in the game situation, you'll get some playing time. Now, I know the drill. I'm happy with that. I can swallow that, because I know the fraternity that I can't break. I know he's promised guys playing time, but if I can make this club, which I did as a walk-on, I'm proud. I'm the first walk-on ever. If I can get playing time during the season and have a wonderful summer, that's all I can ask for. Well, I go to the office where Baba is. He's proud. He's smiling. He was shocked but proud. I get signed up. I get a uniform. If you go online and pull up a Anchorage Glacier Pilot team picture, there's a black and white one from 1984. I'm in the middle row, far right, number 7. That's me. Matter of fact, here's a dynamite picture here with, this is down in Kenai. This is Rico Rossi. Here's me. Here's Randy Johnson, John Alexander, Curtis Parham, and here is Mike Batesel. Mike knows that would be him if he's watching this, or anybody on the team would recognize that's him. right? And here's what it looked like. I mean, I was no Punch and Judy hitter by no means. That's me in '85 with the Bucks. And here's me taking the throw down. Now, this is another picture from '85, but that's me tagging out Billy Bean. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that because I would never insult anybody and tell this story and embellish this thing. So we get down to Kenai, and McFarland does me dirty. He puts this kid by the name of Brad Barbieri, career outfielder with the Cubs in the minor leagues, behind home plate. He just doesn't have the knack to throw down. He's bouncing balls all weekend down second and third, and I was hurt, man. I was angry, and I was played a fool, and it just wasn't cool. And that's what I'm saying. That's any coaches out there that are listening to this story. I mean, it's just not right to do that to a walk-on, to anybody. Look him in the eye and tell him, you just can't be up front with me. And he wasn't, and that was not cool. And we're out to the pilot, and I just got to, just bite my tongue and hope things change. And 10, 11 games into this season, we're like 10-1, 9-1, 11-2, something like that. And we're beating teams pretty good, to the point where we're winning 11-1, 9-1, 8-1 in the 8th inning, 9th inning. McFarland's not even giving me a plate appearance. He's not even putting me on the field in the top of the 9th to play half an inning on the field. I'm getting 0, nothing. For me now, it's just I'm looking forward to like getting to the ball field and taking BP and enjoying watching these future minor and major leaguers. But I'm disgusted. So now we're going to Fairbanks, North Pole, for our first road trip. We're at the airport. I meet this kid. He's there for the first day. Never forget him. Out of Pepperdine University, Nez Baleo. Middle infielder. First game, Mike Bates will pop up behind third. He's going off foul territory. There's gravel. He loses his footing. He's got to brace himself as he falls. Falls on his hand. Time he comes in after the inning, he's due to hit. I'm in the dugout. Brad Clements is right next to me. And Bates's wrist blows up. Tells Brad, I can't swing. Brad hires down. McFarland's down the third base box. He hollers down, Mac, Batesel, kid. It's me. I believe it's my turn. I believe he's going to call my name, right? Nah. McFarland looks down, scuffles fools with the dirt. Baleo swing it back. I don't believe it. He's going to give Baleo the first divvy at this before me. He just got there. Just got there this morning. You think Billy Martin and Reggie Jackson's incident in the dugout in whatever that was, when Reggie was with the Yankees, was something? I made that look like child's play. These kids never heard the curse words that come out of my mouth. Brad Clement tells me, yo, Al, why don't you cool off and go down the bullpen? I turn to Brad and say, why don't you the fuck go down there and cool off? And Brad, I got to apologize to you. I should never talk to you like that. I was out of line, but I was hot and aggravated, and if you're watching this, I apologize for saying them words to you. But I believe I had reason to be angry. And so anyway, Hugh Grew, who was the traveling secretary, who's still my friend today, he heard the commotion. He comes in the dugout, grabs me out. Dugout, he wants to know what's going on. I explained to him. And I said, I want my release. Where's Ag Babbitt? And he says, Ag Babbitt can be here tomorrow. He says, get your gear. Come on, I'll get you out of here. And let's get your stuff out of the barracks up. I said, I want to get out of here. He goes, all right, come on, I'll check you in a hotel. You want to talk to Ag Babbitt in the morning? You can't get a release until he comes. That's all right. Babbitt gets there in the morning. I got breakfast with Ag Babbitt and Hugh Grew. And Steve Ag Babbitt says, Al, what's your problem? Steve, what's my problem? And I explained to him. You kidding me, Steve? Nez Baleo just got here today. And Batesel gets hurt, and he puts him in before me. I'm here. It's 2 weeks into the season. I ain't seen nothing, Steve. He lied to me about, so I tell him I fill him in. And Ag Babbitt says to me, well, you want to talk to McFarland? And this is one of my biggest regrets for 33 years, that I didn't say yes, because it was my chance to confront McFarland. But I said, no, Steve, just get me the fuck out of here. This guy fucked with my dream. And I should have confronted him, because he would have had to answer McFarland. He would have had to answer the Agbab about my, allegations, which were true. And I would have loved to heard an answer. But this is my thing. And if I'm reaching out to Steve McFarland right now. If anybody can reach out to him, Mark Garner, any of the former Anchorage Glacier pilots, if anybody can get a hold of Steve, I would really love an explanation, Steve, why you treated me like that. I would love to have an explanation before I drop dead one day and go to my grave. I deserve one, and I should get one from you. And you're a baseball man today. You're respected. You're with the Cubs. I'm not saying you're a bad guy, but that particular time you did me dirty, and it's just the way it is. And I would just like to have an explanation or an apology, whatever one you see fit. So now they fly me into Anchorage, Alaska, and I go right to the Anchorage Bucks office, because Dennis Mattingsley's there, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I can get on their squad. Now I walk in his office, and he's in his office, and he knows the pilots are up on North Pole, and I come walking in, and he knows I made the club, naturally. I walk in, and he's like this, what'd I tell you, Al? I said, you were right, Dennis. I said, is there a shot here, Dennis, with the Bucks? He goes, stick around, I'll talk to the manager, see what he says. If he's all for it, I'm all for it. Manager comes, I go in the office. The manager tells me, I forget his name. Manager tells me, Al, listen, I talked to Dennis. I know you can play. He knows you can play. He says, but we're off to a decent start. I don't want to make no changes on our roster. I got to accept that. So now I'm disgusted, and I have one last shot. I met this general manager, the Matsu Miners. Matsu Miners were 45 miles, I believe, north of Anchorage, down in Palmer, Alaska. They're off to a brutal start, and they're 0-8, 2-9, whatever it is. And I go there, and I explain to, I believe his name is Rich Mastriani. I know it was Italian last name like mine. And I explained to him the whole thing, and he knows about me being a walk-on. And he says to me, well, stick around, Jim Fry, legendary coach from Arizona State, Jim Fry. He's going to be here in a half an hour. It's all right. He gets here, Fry. Mastriani fills him in. Fry says to me, I'll go down in the field and see you down in about 20 minutes. Let's see what you got. Yeah, well, we're going to go through the same thing that I went through with McFarland. I'm going to show off and show him what I got. So after a little workout, little ground balls and some hacks I take, he says, pulls me over, and he says, Al, here's the deal. I got my son playing second base, and I'm fed up to here with him. Oh, when he tells me this, I'm like, oh my God. Now this is the guy I want to play for. I mean, really, you want to go to war with somebody, baseball guys out there, you want to play for a guy like this. I mean, he's sick of his son, and he don't give a fuck. And he says, my kid's making another game. He says, so let's get you signed up, let's get a uniform, and just be ready to play. Wow. So that night we got a game. And top of the first, the top of the second, it was early in the game. Ground ball, Gary Fry, his name is, second baseman. To his left, he's scuffling over. The ball goes up his arm. He can't get out. He finally gets out, juggles, throws, safe. Without a beat, without a breath. Jim Fry, Al, go get loose. My God, wow. This guy is really real. I like this. So now I get in the game. I go 2 for 5. I get my first Alaska League hit off none other than future White Sox American League save leader Bobby Thigpen. Okay? These are my first live at-bats that I got since my amateur baseball last August in Philly. So I got to drive back and forth 45 miles because they don't have a family to put me up in, but I'm driving back and forth because I'm psyched. And I'm in the lineup 2-3 games in a row, and third or fourth game I get there and on the wall of the dugout looking at the lineup, I don't see my name, no Al Barbieri. I get a kid, I say, who's this? Oh, that's one of Jim Fry's guys from Arizona. I said, here we go again. Are you fucking kidding me? Really? This guy's going to play me dirty too? I'm waiting for him to come in the dugout. I take the uniform off. And I tell him, you know, coach, stick this fucking uniform up your ass. Now, here's what I got to say to Jim Fry. Again, all he had to do was be honest with me. If that was what he wanted to do, what's all he had to do? Explain it to me. All he could have said was, Al, I need a second baseman for a couple of days. I already made a call. Got one of my kids coming in from Arizona. Listen, you know, you show me you can play and perform, you'll see some playing time. All you have to do is be honest with me. Okay? He already showed me a little bit of legitness. Like the kid, his kid, he threw his kid under the bus, threw him out, took him out of line and put me in there. All you had to do was be upfront with me. So I'm asking you, Jim Fry. I would love an explanation from you how you did me dirty like that. I mean, and this is the reason why I'm telling this video. Coaches shouldn't do this to young kids or at any level. I mean, come on. I mean, I was robbed of, you know, the Anchorage Pilots went down and won the NBC Conference Championship. I mean, they're memories that I should have for the rest of my life. I mean, I could have said that you know, if McFarland puts me in behind the plate and Kenai, I probably have a chance to catch the young Randy Johnson. I mean, that would have been a hell of a memory for me. You know, I mean, these are the things that just ain't cool. So, listen, I'm asking Jim Fry and McFarland for an explanation. And I want to say to my Anchorage Glacier Pilot teammates, I apologize for that outburst in the dugout. I apologize for abandoning ship. I would have loved to have been down all the way with you guys to Wichita State to win that championship. It was a pleasure watching you guys play. And if anybody can reach out to me, to McFarland or Jim Fry, I can get in touch by. I know the fraternities of professional athletes. I'm close with the father of Clay Thompson and Trace Thompson, Michael Thompson, former Laker. How to get in touch with me. So I just wanted to share that, and I hope all baseball coaches out there give the walk-on the benefit of the doubt and just be honest with him, because you do him dirty, you're just crushing dreams and just stripping away. And I was blessed to be able to go back in 1985, and Gil Stafford at a Grand Canyon Community College, who was the manager of the Bucks, had a different idea about me, and he gave me a shot, and he was honest with me. And not only did I get a shot to play, I played regularly. And I thank Gil Stafford and the Anchorage Bucks, because if it wasn't for them, I would have never been able to pursue my lifelong childhood dream to play with the Camden River Sharks and make my pro debut in 2003 at 44 years old. So I hope that's a life lesson, and one baseball guy to all you baseball guys out there, well, give it 100% all the time. All right.
Do you think he is incompetent?